I'm a great swimmer. I swear. A young woman's voice. It's distant, but near. Like a video with the volume nearly all the way down. I strain myself to listen more closely, and the spoken words start to come into focus. That's doubtful. You're a yote, after all. A man's voice, also barely audible. I'm inside the cabin of a large vehicle. It's rickety, and I have to hold on to something to keep from shaking all over the place. I can see two people in the front now. Their silhouettes pronounced, but I can't make out their faces. It's like they're distorted, water droplets on fresh ink. The one in the passenger seat is a woman, a coyote. She has lots of jewelry. Not that I can see it, but it jingles around whenever she moves. That reminds me of my mom. The man on the left, who's driving, is an otter. He's wearing a hunting cap that's too small for his noggin. Whenever he turns his head, I catch a glimpse of him in the mirror, his face blurred. The only part that's distinguishable are his eyes, like shining blue headlights in the dark. I think I'm seeing things from his point of view, even though he's not really me. The cabin behind the two front seats is roomy, like a van. In fact, it feels like there are more people behind me, but I can't look over my shoulder. I'm stuck, shaking around in between the front seat and somewhere in the back, near the rear cabin doors. Yeah, and you're a dirty space dove. The times are changing, and you best get with them. Otherwise, I might need to find myself more sophisticated company, you hear? The woman responds. This is all so familiar for some reason. Deja vu. Jan, you read dirty novels and you eat fast food like a hog. I've heard of a set of witch doctors who are more worldly and sophisticated than you are. He grunts, laughing a little at his joke. Oh, please, darling. Reading a little novella with the word penis in it ain't gonna damn you straight to hell. Second, I got my own income now. You know, a job. You might hear of one someday. I can use the money I make from said job to buy whatever I want that makes me feel special. Sometimes that's a little romance book at the drugstore, and sometimes that's a large vanilla milkshake with extra cherries. Third and final, I don't think them a set of half witch doctors, they got shamans. I met one once. He was a very nice old man, about 4 feet tall, too, pocket sized. The woman sounds rather pleased with herself for countering all the man's comments. The man lets out a dismissive noise. You met one, huh? What'd he do? Sell you a love potion? Another chitter of laughter at his own joke. I don't know, huh? You tell me. You reckon it's working? Her tone is flirty, and I can practically feel them both smiling. I'm outside now. My head's spinning. I'm walking, but it's not my body that's moving. It's someone else's. Their movements are slow and deliberate, a stab of pain when the body's left leg moves too high or the joints rotate at the knees. The fur on their arms is ice white, and the muzzle is feline. Some sort of big albino cat trudging one foot after the other beside the highway, caught up in a strange daze. Sepia-tinted memories fill our heads of places that look straight out of the Southwestern Adventure's frontier quarter. These recollections are his existence, and the physical reality in front of him a fading dream, something that causes pain to traverse. This world is not his home anymore, as much as it hurts him to think that. One of his feet steps upon the concrete, then the other, crossing the lines to walk directly down the little yellow line down the center. The people he loved are all dead, but he doesn't want to join them. He just wants them back. As his own senses fail him, the memories in his head keep getting more and more real. They're there in his mind. You can see the stitching in their clothing, the smell of their fur, the chuckle in their voice, the touch of their paws, the taste of their lips. It's such a sad way to be. Back in the van. The otter and the coyote are trading glances with each other now. The more brusque personality of the otter seems tempered by the coyote, like he's trying not to take himself too seriously around her. The radio is playing something now, something that was there before, but I couldn't quite make out. It's not music, just voices. Drawn out, distorted, and mostly unintelligible. I catch something that sounds like nervous laughter from a high-pitched voice. Then a more baritone one responds with something reassuring. He's okay. At least, that's what I think it says. Finally, a squelching noise. Like squishing soft putty between your paws. The feeling that something is behind me in the van grows. I've been here before. I know I have. But when? No matter what I do, I can't turn around. Even the rear view mirror reflects a distorted image. I can just barely make out something back there. Undulating in constant restless motion, strobing between pulsating flashes of faint red light. There's applause, like someone clapping. The handles of the rear cabin doors seem to shudder and click like someone is trying to open them from the outside. But that's impossible. We're moving. It feels like I'm yanked back out to the road again, with the old man walking down the center line. The memories in his head grow more perspicuous as he walks. It's as if it's building towards some great zenith, or a point of total clarity. I'm not sure how I know this. There's a rumbling of an engine coming up from behind, puttering in rhythmic fashion. Again, I can't turn to face it, but I know it's there. And it's getting closer. The engine roars. It's coming right up behind me. This is nuts. What the fuck am I doing? It's a high-pitched voice from the radio. I can hear it now, clearer than ever before. You're doing great, Chula. The baritone voice. Was that Leo? The albino older man stops, turning as if he heard this too. Heavy breaths escape my throat and splay forth, fogging up the window. The two lovers exchange a kiss, eyes lolled. There are lovers in the back as well, fumbling with themselves in that same red light. That same red light that bathes the entire sky. The cabin doors fling open, and I can finally see the person who's been trying to get in from outside. A runty-looking, amber-eyed otter stands there, wearing an oversized blue t-shirt and khaki shorts. It's me. I'm younger, and I don't have the goatee, Somehow, I'm just floating behind the moving vehicle, as if we were standing still. The color in younger me's eyes starts to fade before shifting to an icier blue. He shrinks, and soon the figure standing there is a little boy in his swimming trunks. Him. What does he want? Another shift, and he springs about up with distorted, jolty movements. The transition is nowhere near as smooth as the first. An otter in his hunting cap, far too tight for his head, those same blue eyes piercing right through me. Bronson. Mr. Bronson. Sydney's father. Is Bronson also the one driving the van we're in? I see no reaction from the blurry figure in the driver's seat, still more occupied with the coyote next to him. He's only there for a second before his face practically tears away in jagged artifacting. Mr. Bronson twists in on himself, expression uncaring as it falls apart and fades into ragged white fur. The elderly albino on the road. It's him. At least I think it is. His silhouette is more abstracted, the detail of his features somehow darker. His form floats there for some time. I keep waiting for it to shift, but it doesn't. Instead, it turns its head to look directly at me with stark red eyes. They widen, still peering, and I try to step back, but I can't move. Like fluorescent bulbs, they begin to illuminate, blinding me as they grow closer and closer. I hold up my paw just as the old man's mouth opens, about to speak. What? Thunk. Dennis, you okay?
Bronson! Bronson, what did you hit? Bronson? Bronson, don't just sit there! You answer me right now!
I don't know.
Jesus, sweet Mary Christ.
Mr. Bronson is despondent, while Janice, is starting to get frantic. Everything's dark, but I can still see a slight red splatter on the center of the windshield. A large chunk of fur is caught in the wiper. Mr. Bronson steps out of the vehicle, his blurry form flickering into something a little more focused. His clothes are loose hanging, jeans bell-bottomed, very 60s. I can see the whiskers on his face like they were my own. His heart is practically beating out of his chest, his fur damp with cold sweat. The fear is electric, buzzing hum which permeates the landscape. Are they hearing it too? I decide to move with him, seeing from his point of view. Mr. Bronson covers his face, paws trembling. He can't see anything in this darkness. Oh! The otter nearly leaps out of his fur, startled by the voice. It's a weak, desperate cry, a gurgling of pain following it immediately after. Mr. Bronson runs to the source of the pathetic sound, Janice getting out of the van as well. She clutches her bag to her side, her high heels clacking against the asphalt.
Bronson! Oh my God!
I see it. I see him. The albino feline is stuck, wedged between the fender skirt and the wheel itself, a space about a foot wide. He's practically folded into it, legs snapped upward and jutting out the side. Wild red eyes dart from Mr. Bronson to Janice and back again. I can't tell if he's pleading for help or asking why. All I know is that he's in excruciating pain, beyond the capacity for tears, just instant shock. Images flash before his eyes, and now he's not looking at anyone at all. He's devoid of movement beyond the rapid heaving of his chest.
Jesus!
She screams.
His shoulder's caught under the tire. And he's bleeding. Oh God, Bronson, we gotta do something.
I know we gotta do something! He shouts back at her, eyes nearly popping out of his head. Jack. Jenna gasps as the old man begins to speak again. A look of realization crosses her no longer blurry face, and she points toward the back of the van.
Get the jack!
Mr. Bronson blinks, then quickly rushes to the back to get his toolkit, flinging the doors open. In place of obscure levers are a mound of tarantulas, burrowing into each other as if trying to hide from newly opened doors. Some are blondes, while others are the more standard rust and black color. He doesn't seem to notice or care about these creatures which flee from his presence, instead diving for his little olive toolbox. I try to step away, but I'm stuck seeing through his eyes now. He flings his tools about, hammers, wrenches, and rebar clattering to the side. No Jack. Mr. Bronson stares, motionless, while Janice's shrieking voice breaks the silence.
What's taking you so long? Get him out of there, Bronson!
The otter exhales shakily, then makes his way back to Janice, giving her a blank look. Help me lift.
What?
I said, help me lift!
Are you kidding me? You don't have a jack?
Shut up and help! Mr. Bronson slips his paws under the side of the van next to the wheel, squeezing his palms under the chrome. Janice quickly does the same on the other side of the wheel. On 3, lift!
Mr. Old Man, we're gonna get you out of there in no time. You just gotta slide on free once this goes up, okay?
She tries to put on a reassuring voice, but the albino just stares past her with those intense red eyes. 1!
Bronson, I don't know if I can do this.
2! She shakes, tears beginning to well within her eyes.
Oh God.
3! The van creaks as it begins to rise up off the ground, at least on this corner. Jenna screams at her own exertions, muscles spasming as her arms shake.
I can't!
The old man begins sliding his broken legs down the side of the wheel, one of his free paws grabbing the side of the fender skirt. Low moans escape from inside his chest, whimpers of unimaginable pain and shock as his crushed bones realign themselves inside him. He makes it most of the way out by the time Janice's arms give out, the van instantly lowering back down a couple inches.
I'm sorry!
Fuck! Mr. Bronson spreads his legs wide, his muscles quivering as he tries to hold up the whole van by himself. Go! Go! Get out of there! He screams down at the albino, his blue eyes meeting the albino's as the old feline begins to nudge himself out from under the wheel. No! The otter howls as the van continues to lower despite his best efforts. The old man feels it touch the side of his muzzle. His breathing quickens, arms reaching for something, anything to help him. Then, some gentle pressure. His eyes are bleary and moist now, like a lost child's. Then more pressure. And then... Jenna screams. She screams and screams until her vocal cords fray like old yarn. Time passes. The body of the old man is dragged into a large, open hole on the side of the road. Mr. Brunson's paws are bloodied, nails chipped from digging without a shovel. Janice refused to help, and she's been sitting in the van quietly for the past half hour, crying to herself. She can't stop shaking. He buries the body in the small ditch, trying not to look at his half-crushed face. It seems to stare at him, asking for help from beyond the grave. He could have helped, but he wasn't strong enough. Maybe this is what he wanted, after all. To die? Why else would he have been walking straight toward them in the middle of the road? He had plenty of time to move out of the way, but he didn't. It was like he didn't realize the shock of what he had done until he was tangled in the wheel skirt of the van. His bones jutting from his skin and blood dripping from his overalls. Once he's completely covered, Mr. Brunson peers back at the van. The splatter from the impact is still visible. He places a small stone to mark the grave of the unknown man before heading back and getting into the driver's seat. Janice says nothing to him, and for that he is thankful. Mr. Brunson drives off the road and into a small valley a short ways away. He parks in between some bushes and collects his things, trying to ignore the new throbbing pain in his head. Together, they silently exit the van and begin their slow walk back to Echo. A lone figure watches them atop a hill, an impossibly tall silhouette with lanky arms that hang past his knees. We're together now. My eyes flutter open, and I'm greeted by sunlight pouring through the thin curtains. At first, I'm a little confused, until I realize I'm not in the same bed I'd been in the rest of the trip. It takes me a minute to get control of my limbs again, and when I turn my head to the side, I see Jenna sound asleep beside me. I had meant to talk to her about some stuff on my mind last night, but she fell asleep pretty quickly. She looks pretty peaceful, all things considered. It's such a contrast to the dream from the night before, the details of which are already starting to fade, but some of the imagery remains. Van, the albino getting hit, the tarantulas in the back, the tall figure that was watching on the hill. Ugh. It hurts to think about. I reach out a paw and gingerly nudge Jenna's shoulder. Hey, you awake? Jenna's whiskers twitch. She must not be as asleep as I thought, because she makes a little grunt as I nudge her again. Her eyes open a crack and she smiles as she sees me, looking back at her. Hey. Hey. I boop her on the nose with my paw once and can hear her tail flap beneath the covers happily. Looking graceful today. Truly? She blinks once. Wait, why are you in my bed? She questions back with a raised brow, stretching her arms above her and yawning. I was trying to talk to you more about the Micah thing, and you sort of just closed your eyes and fell asleep. I did the same. Oh, well, we all got the gist of it. I'm sorry, just been really tired lately.
I'm going to be so behind on my work for college. It's not even funny. I hate cramming.
She squints at me for a moment.
You have sleep crusties in your eyes.
I blink. Oh, well, I just woke up. That's probably why. I rub my eyes quickly. She lets out a little laugh.
You sleep okay? Dream any more about Flynn holding you in his big, scaly arms?
I cover my face with my paw, regretting telling her all this personal crush stuff already. To be honest, I'd kinda wanna be the big spoon with him. But that's not something I really want to talk about right now.
Understood. But in all seriousness, did you sleep okay?
Her expression reads as genuine concern for some reason. I debate just saying yeah and leaving it at that. But last night's dream felt so particularly bizarre, it'd feel wrong not to mention. Eh. I shrug. More weird dreams. I had one where I simultaneously got hit by and ran over someone with a van. Like the perspectives switched back and forth.
Oh, that's weird. At least it's not the reoccurring shadow you dream.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Seeing myself in the mirror is tough enough. I don't need to see that when I sleep.
Chase, please. You're not that ugly.
I frown. You have a wonderful way of making your reassurances simultaneously slight put-downs.
Do I?
Yes. I'm being negged.
Oh, shut up. I hate when guys do that. I'm just teasing you, Chase. Trying to rate someone's physical appearance has always been hard for me, especially when they're covered in eye gunk.
Ugh. Oh, come on. I'm gonna wipe it on you. Her face crinkles into a look of repulsion.
Ew, gross.
She dusts her pillow some and rolls onto her back, staring at the ceiling.
You know, I keep dreaming about my grandmother.
Really?
Yes, it's strange. Especially the one from last night.
She pauses. I wait, looking at her expectantly.
I was younger, and in my bedroom back at my parents' place. Well, it didn't look like my bedroom, and everything was kind of hazy, but I could hear the old hot water heater in the corner. I was being read a story from one of those children's books with the golden spines. You know the ones, right?
I nod. Oh, yeah. Wow. I hadn't thought about those in ages. My parents used to read them to me all the time when I was little. Couldn't fall asleep without them.
Oh? I can't recall ever being read a story outside of school, so that's why it was a bit unusual.
Who was reading you the story then?
Hold on. I'll get to that in a second. The story was a fairly basic medieval fairy tale, with the king having been eaten by a dragon and a brave warrior venturing out to slay the dragon. Despite it being a story I was being told, it was kind of like I was watching it all happen for real, like on a TV. The warrior travels a great distance to confront this dragon, but when they finally find him, they falter. Inside the dragon's lair, the warrior finds a baby dragon, whom the big one was trying to protect. The king had wanted the dragons dead, stating that they were all monstrous, uncaring devils. But at seeing this big dragon protect his young, the warrior knows this is not the whole truth and spares the dragon. Noble guy. It wasn't a guy. In fact, I believe it was my grandmother.
The one you told me about?
Yes.
How do you know that?
Jenna's brow furrows slightly as she thinks. I'm not sure exactly. At the time, it felt implicit. Obvious. Like, who else could it be?
So, warrior grandma doesn't kill the dragon, and then what happens?
Her gaze shifts as if searching for something fleeting. I don't think anything happened. It just sorta hard cut back to my bedroom. I could see the sun just starting to rise through the window. The sky's still orangey and red. You know, like how it gets during a drought when there's a lot of dust in the air. Despite all this, the room looked even darker. I couldn't see who was reading the story to me, just that they had big red eyes. And then I woke up. That last part sounds familiar for some reason, but I'm having a difficult time remembering why. Well? Jenna looks slightly embarrassed with herself, fussing with her head fur as she sits up some. Discussing dreams can be a great way to help discern internal stressors in one's life. Her tone is slightly defensive, the Finnick using words way too fancy for this early in the morning. The problem is, dreams are often deeply personal abstractions that... She frowns to herself some, then glances at the clock on the nightstand. It's probably gonna be our turn on search duty here in a bit. That information we got from Micah is really helpful, if true. Here's hoping he pulls through with his investigating.
Yeah, to be honest, I was kind of a lot happier in thinking Carl just went on a bender and got lost somewhere.
He still might have, judging by how you said Micah described him acting. At least now we know the general direction to look.
Right.
I look at the neatly made bed on TJ's side of the room. You had initially given us a bit of a strange look when I stayed on Jenna's bed for the night. I can't tell if it's because he was curious about our relationship or offended that I wasn't sleeping with him. I clarified that he didn't snore just in case. Jenna's phone vibrates beside us and she lets out a little sigh, clearly uncomfortable and not wanting to move. If I had longer arms, I'd grab it for you. Oh, such a gentleman. A shame you're gay.
Wait, what?
Jenna winks at me once, grabbing the phone with a little irk. She taps away at the screen for a moment before looking over at me. Gonna meet up with TJ down at the diner for breakfast. Some eggs and bacon sounds amazing to me right now. I'm not usually the sort of person who gets hungry as soon as they wake up, but that does sound pretty good.
Yeah.
With some jam and toast, too. Now you're talking. I know you took one last night, but I should probably take a shower first. Gotta, get all the eye goop off me that's so offensive to you. Oh? She cants her head in my direction, setting her phone back down. Thank you for being so considerate to those around you, Chase. We appreciate it, truly. I grin idly and slide myself off the other side of the bed. I'll meet you down at the diner. Gonna walk down there this time. The reception's been kind of weird this morning, but I'll text TJ your order. Thank you. I give her a little thumbs up and she smiles, leaning over the edge of the bed to begin rifling through her suitcase. When I step out about 20 minutes later, I notice that my phone is flashing with that news notification light. I click on it and notice one new message. That's Micah! Your BF is fucking shit up! Hitting Clint! Get down here to Jasmine Street now! Oh, shit? God damn it, Leo. I'd sent out a big group text last night updating the group on what had happened with Micah. Everyone got back to me, except Leo, who never responded. It showed that he'd read the message, though, so I didn't question it at the time. I quickly grab my keys and head out. I make sure to park at least a quarter mile down the street, past the intersection onto Jasmine. From there, I make my way on foot, huffing my way down the gravel road. As I fast walk, I notice that there's little puddles everywhere, but there was no rain last night. At least if there was, I was sleeping too deeply to notice. I can still practically smell the smoke of the bonfire from yesterday as I draw closer. I imagine they probably let it burn down to ashes last night, that group not seemingly like the real fire safety type. Fuck you! A voice cracks through the silence, past a burnt-out trailer down in the valley. It's shrill and raspy, and a violent clash that sounds like garbage cans getting knocked over soon follows. It's unmistakably Clint. There's another voice that follows, this one lower. It's quiet and threatening, but I can't quite make out what he's saying. Something about making Clint's life hell. There's an accent to the way the R's are being rolled, and I realize quickly it's Leo. His English always gets worse when he's emotional. I creep up beside a shed full of what looks like copper tubing, wondering if it's too late to turn back. Peering down the corner, I can see Clint knocked on his ass, a can of half-eaten beans spilled all over his crotch. He's almost completely covered in trash. Jeremy's also next to him, holding his arm and looking like he's about to start bawling. No sign of Micah or Heather, though.
Where is he, huh? You gonna tell me?
Eat shit, faggot! I don't know who your fucking friend is!
That's bullshit!
Leo snaps back, Clint flinching some as he slides himself further behind the trash can he knocked over earlier. A hypodermic needle is hanging from his thigh, probably poking him through his jeans. He doesn't seem to notice, eyes flicking around wildly as if searching for something. You won't be so loud soon. Leo growls, tail raised and bristling. It's strange to see him flash his teeth like this. Leo getting truly angry was always a rarity growing up, the wolf usually being the one trying to pacify everyone else. Whatever his reasons, he is not having any of Clint's shit today. He snatches the ringtail by the scruff of his neck, Clint thrashing for a second before Leo tightens his grip. Jeremy looks up at the two of them, his eyes like saucers.
I know you all tried to rob Carl's place, but it didn't work, huh? Carl got spooked and ran off, and you said you were gonna handle him. Well, how'd you handle him? Something like how I'm about to handle you if you don't tell me?
God damn it, Leo. There goes Mecca's cover. So much for trying to do this the subtle way. I feel like I should step out from my hiding spot and say something to intervene. To do fucking anything to stop this before it escalates. But I just stand there, saying and doing nothing. Clint writhed just enough to clutch at Leo's wrist, his long, unkempt fingernails digging into the white fur. I didn't see him, I swear! I ain't seen him at all. Not since last week! And we ain't done none of that robbing shit from his place. That was just fucking cursed! His bulging eyes shift to Jeremy, as if waiting for confirmation from the chubby Finnick. He's met with only silence. Leo's nostrils flare, shaking his head. You know what happened! Fuck! I know you know! God damn it! Don't lie to me! You don't know shit! Sounds like someone's been lying to you, and I think I know who. This is very clearly not what Leo wants to hear. Jowls pulling back and exposing more of his teeth in a silent snarl. I need to find him. I need to fix this. I need to suck the shit are gonna help me. The wolf throws Clint back down atop Jeremy, the two colliding with an audible thud. Jeremy yelps, clutching his arm again. Leo must have really heard it earlier. Psst! There's a sharp whisper from a broken-down RV to my left. Through the dusty, broken windows, I can see the familiar outline of a pair of ridiculously large ears. Micah. I crouch down, clutching my tail in my paws so it doesn't flop around behind me. Quietly, I make my way to the door and step inside, careful not to step on any broken glass on my way in. The smell inside is awful, and despite the arid climate, it's surprisingly damp and moldy in here. Micah is hunkered down behind an overturned cabinet, glancing briefly at me before returning his gaze to the scene unfolding outside. I'm fucked, he mutters. And so's your friends. All thanks to him, of all people. Micah points to the wolf outside, whose focus of attention has shifted to Jeremy now. I didn't know he would react like this, I whisper back. Yeah. I thought you were just going to call the cops on me. Didn't expect this from the Goody Two-Shoes Echo Gang. Micah frowns deeply, and I notice a heavy pipe wrench clutched in his small paws. Whoa! Are you going to try hitting him with that? Micah swallows. He was asking about me by name earlier. Jeremy said he hadn't seen me. Then Leo punched him in the arm so hard, he hit the dirt. This is... just in case. You better not have fucking hurt him, you fat fuck! Another cry of pain. I think Leo hit him again, but it's hard to tell through my spot in the window. The bat's gaze shifts back over to me. What the fuck are you still doing here? Get out there and stop him, you dumb shit! Micah whispers harshly, his raspy voice intense. Oh. Right, but what? Leo just blew our one chance of figuring out where Carl is through your method. He's sure fucking dead. Now, what's your points? Those two, or at least Clint, probably knows what happened after the phone call you mentioned last night. A sick, twisted feeling starts to settle to my stomach, Micah looking at me with a dumbfounded expression. This may be our one chance at, finding where Carl is. Through torture? Fuck me, schizo. Don't be a bitch! Get out there! He shoves my shoulder, but I manage to keep myself from toppling over, steadying myself on the mildewy countertop. Don't touch me. I'll touch you all at goddamn once! My life here is over thanks to you. Yeah? What life it was? Dealing drugs, trying to rob my friend, and then covering up a kidnapping. You don't know how fucking good you have it. You musky-ass bitch. And I don't know where Carl is, so don't pin that shit on me yet. The bat glances out the window, then does a quick double take. Wait, where'd he go? His ear perks and his yellow eyes widen. Oh, piss! It takes me a second, but I hear it too. Footsteps. And they're getting closer. Micah scrambles to the back of the RV, opening the half-busted restroom door and jamming himself inside. Don't let him see me! What? Oh, shit. It's just Leo. Calm down. I take a deep breath and make my way to the door of the RV, pushing it open. It proceeds to promptly fall right off its rusted hinges, landing in the dirt below. Leo stands about 5 feet away, his look of anger shifting to surprise. Jess? Fuck? What are you doing here? I'm not sure what to say. Behind Leo, I can see Clint and Jeremy slumped against the side of the mobile home. I decide to turn the question back to him, swallowing back the lump that had crawled its way up my throat. Me? Leo, what the hell are you doing here? We had a plan! Yeah? Well, so do I. I'm going to fix this. And you don't have to worry about a thing, okay? Leo, we're in this together. We're not kids anymore. Look, I know you've been away a while, yeah? But these guys... He points back to Jeremy and Clint. They just hurt people. Always have. That's all they do. Just a bunch of gay-bashing speed freaks. And now they've crossed the line. Leo steps up, placing his large paws on my shoulders. I flinch. He notices. Then a hurt expression crosses his muzzle as he draws back. I'm going to fix this, Chase. Trust me, please. Leo, I don't know. This is kind of fucked. You're just gonna get yourself in more trouble, and I don't want that. Look, it's just like we talked about last night. Everything's gonna be okay. Wait. What? Leo, you and I didn't talk last night. I haven't seen or spoken to you since Wednesday. Leo just stares at me, visibly confused. He looks down to his feet, then back up again. No? I was watching Carl's place and you came over. I told you about this, about the need for action here, and you agreed with me. I blink up at him. After the conversation with Micah, I went straight to bed. I definitely didn't go back all the way to Carl's. It was probably just a dream or something? Don't think so. He sucks his tongue for a second before speaking again. Have you seen Michael? Go to ask him a few questions. No. I lie. Ugh. I'll track him down. Gain on powers and what have you. He gesticulates with a loose swirl of his paw before letting it fall limply back at his side. Hopefully, Micah took a shower recently.
Might do that thing where we ask him a few questions one at a time and make sure their answers match up. I read about something like that in a spy novel once. And if they don't? Leo looks at me as if he wasn't expecting me to ask that question. Oh, well, let's hope they do, yeah? For their own good. He nods sagely, seemingly trying to ignore the fact that I'm staring at him like he's missing a few bolts. When I don't say anything, he just sighs, turning to head back in the direction of Clint and Jeremy. All right. You should head back to the motel and text the rest of the gang. Or keep you all updated. And if you see the As Leo rounds the side of one of the nearby sheds, something large, brown, and hairy juts forth and strikes him in the waist. He recoils, staggering to his knee with a gasp. Just as he looks to see what hit him, a second blow strikes him square in the muzzle. I see his whole head rattle, his face contorted in pain as he falls flat on his ass, trying to scoot away from the source of the assault. Oh, fuck! Leo! I run up to help him just as a huge bear emerges from around the shed. Leo's a big guy, but this man is nearly a foot taller than even him. Scabs coat his matted fur, and a rank smell of stale beer and musk wafts from him like cheap perfume. There's something horrible about him, and not just his acrid odor or lesion-dotted visage. His eyes are empty. Empty in not a physical way, but there's something about his appearance that can't be quite put into words. A combination of factors that make him look like he just walked straight out of a nightmare. Brian, you're here. Shut up, man. Brian. God. This is fucking Brian? No wonder Micah wanted to try the subtle approach. Oh. What the hell? Brian chuckles down at Leo. The first thing I'm struck by is how high-pitched his voice is. It's like this strange combination of a Valley Girl lisp mixed with a hint of helium. What you doing, boy? Whatcha? He kicks at Leo's leg, the wolf grunting in pain. Doing? He smiles, pleased with himself and his little ambush. You know, this is my turf, right? You hurting my boys wasn't a kind thing. Where's Carl? Leo shouts, covered in dirt as he scoots back along the ground. Brian continues to approach him with that same smile, several of his teeth missing or half rotted to corn kernel-like husks. He seems to ignore Leo's question, grabbing at the wolf's pant leg while Leo kicks fruitlessly at him. I gotta do something. Brian hasn't seen me yet. For some reason, the first thing that flashes through my mind is, what would Jenna do? The next thing I know, I'm walking toward both of them. I see Jeremy in the distance, eyes going wide. He mouths one word. Don't. Hey! Stop it! Right now! The bear stops what he's doing, looking at me with an indiscernible expression. Oh God. He's huge. Your behavior's getting real inappropriate. Well, fuck me.
It's you. Luke was right. You have been skulking around here these past few weeks, haven't ya?
Leo growls, taking advantage of the distracted Brian by kicking him square in the nads as hard as he can. At least, that's what it looks like he was aiming for. Instead, it hits his thigh and the bear stumbles back with a pained squeal. It's enough to give Leo some time to get back on his feet. I grab my keys from my pocket. My car is still parked a hell of a long ways away. I have no idea where Leo parked his van, or if he even drove in the first place. Come on, Leo, let's go! No. He balls his paws into fists. He knows what Carl is. This is our only goddamn chance, Chase. Get out of here. Get safe. I blanch as he begins rushing the bear, dropping his shoulder for a football tackle. There's no way in hell Leo can take this guy on. Leo, god damn it! The impact is hard. Two heavy bodies colliding with an audible smack. The two topple down upon a wooden mallet covered in loose metal pipes. Brian squeals again, thrashing like a spider that's been spritzed with bug spray. Bear scratches at Leo, but Leo hits him hard in the face. Again and again, pummeling the previously grinning mug into a twisted visage of agony. Brian's squeals turn to outright screams, like he's gone completely feral. Jesus, Leo. I said go! Brian jerks forward, sinking his yellowed teeth into Leo's shoulder. The wolf's eyes go wide from the shock of pain. It's stunning him still as he's held within the bear's jaws. He tries grabbing at the gnarly muzzle, but the bear only clamps down harder. I can see his nostrils dilating as his acid breath puffs out in quick, enraged bursts. No! I've never won a fight in my goddamn life. But again, I have to do something. I run up and aim to kick Brian square in the head, anything to get him off Leo. It's a glancing blow, but it's enough. I see his jaw unclench, just as my foot catches and I trip over both of them, splaying chest first into the dirt. Ugh. Leo's gonna owe me so many beers after this. I cough out sputters of dust and dry grass, rolling over onto my back. I see a flash of fur, and there's another couple of thuds. Then those eyes again. The empty ones. Brian's leering over me now, his face puckered like he just sucked on something sour. Leo's rolled over on the side, retching as he clutches his gut. He must have gotten socked in the stomach and hard. The bear says nothing as he places his two large paws around my neck. His expression doesn't so much change as it cracks into an increasingly wide smile. Then, a knee on my chest. I can't move. I can't breathe. My heart begins to race, feeling my own pulse begin to throb. I can feel his thumb sticking down where my jugular is. I gasp for breath, blood vessels beginning to pop. My eyes feel like they're about to squeeze out of my neck. He knows what he's doing. So do you. Oh, get away from him! Thud. Leo slams his whole body weight into the bear again. It takes all his force to budge him, but once he's down, he's stunned for a while. I gasp for breath, clutching at my neck and scurrying back behind Leo.
Brian's on his paws and knees now, panting with sick, wheezy breaths. Leo scrambles up to his feet and kicks the bear in the ribs. He barely budges, but Leo keeps at it, strike after strike. He's swearing under his breath, a string of words in his native tongue flowing forth from between gritted teeth. I'm still having trouble catching my breath, my whole head throbbing and lights popping in front of my eyes. Brian yanks on the cuff of Leo's jeans and pulls the wolf down with him. He crawls on top, taking Leo's head in one meaty paw and banging it back against the ground. You can see him squeezing down, the wolf desperately flailing to get him off. He reaches for one of the pipes on the nearby pallet, but Brian catches him before he can get a hold on it. The bear pins both of his wrists above him, grinning in a sort of hazy rage. I run up, trying to push him off, but it's like trying to move a boulder. A single elbow strikes me and I go flying back. It feels like I just got hit by a goddamn car. I hear Leo scream in pain, followed by a short, gurgling noise. I've never heard Leo sound like this in my life. It's horrible. Get off! Another cry. I gotta do something. Maybe I will. As I push myself up to my elbows, my head starts to spin, the throbbing in my skull intensifying. I can finally see what's happening. Brian's still got Leo pinned on the ground. He has his knee up on his chest and pressing down with all of his weight. The wolf heaves, trying to free his hands to no avail. A more primal look crosses his eyes, his toes curling down into the dirt and his paws balling into fists. Brian leans down for just a moment to grin at him when Leo snaps. His white fangs sink down into the brown muzzle of the bear. It's biting hard, and I can practically see the cartilage tearing. It catches him off guard enough to let Leo get his paws free again, which he promptly uses to pummel the bear's noggin. Each punch is a short, knuckle-heavy blow, not letting Brian get the opportunity to recover. The upper hand only lasts a couple of seconds, however, as the bear swings his fist blindly and connects right at Leo's temple. Another strike catches the edge of his shirt, and Brian tears it away like it's paper. His eyes shut, and he crumples back in a manner that I'm sure means he's unconscious. But he keeps moving, pushing himself out from under Brian and trying to crawl away. Come back here, boy! The shout is loud, and Leo begins to crawl faster. Just as he pushes himself to his feet, Brian tackles him back onto all fours again, hitting him in the back of the head. Once he's stopped moving, Brian pushes his face into the dirt. He rests his chest against Leo's back, breathing heavily down on his neck. Oh! Leo's eyes begin to dart around rapidly as he realizes what's happening. The emasculating position is very much intentional. Two paws come down and grasp around the back of Leo's neck, huge fingers pressing down on his airways. Stop! I call out, my voice hoarse. I push myself back up for what feels like the 100th time. If I can get to the pipes on the pallet, maybe I can stop this. I take one step and nearly collapse. What the hell happened to me? I close my eyes for a moment, trying to catch my breath. That's when I hear the sound of pattering little feet scampering across the topsoil. Take this, bitch! Bam! The heavy metal of the wrench strikes Brian in the muzzle right as he turns around. The spray of blood splatters both Brian and the bat. the bear hobbling back before roaring in agony, 2 teeth falling from the front of his maw. His whole body quakes with rage. Micah! What are you doing? Micah's chest rises and falls in rapid succession. It apparent his fight or flight responses are kicking in. Oh fuck! Oh fuck! As Brian turns to face him, eyes wild, it looks like the latter has taken hold. The bat fucking bolts, sprinting as fast as he can toward the end of the trailer park and into the desert scrub beyond. Astonishingly, Brian is right behind him. He's way too fast for someone his size, and he screams like a banshee as he runs. There's a moment where Micah stumbles, and I'm sure that the bear is going to catch him, but he just dodges out of the way and keeps going. They run and run until I can't see them anymore, and an eerie silence falls upon the trailer park. I head over to Leo, taking him by the shoulder. The fur around his jowls is matted with dry blood, and his tail hangs between his legs, completely still. Leo, are you okay? Fuck. It's all he can say as he clutches his head. I agree with that sentiment. So close. Not really, man. I'm about to say something else when I feel the wolf's large arms embrace me. Sorry. The sensitive moment catches me off guard after the brutality which was just on display. Instead of embracing him in return, I'm left feeling uneasy. Sorry? Why are you sorry? He doesn't immediately respond, seeming to ignore the question. You okay? Oh, yeah. Just dizzy. My neck's swollen, and it still kind of hurts to talk and swallow. He pulls back a little and looks to the horizon. Everything's red for me now. Huh? Leo doesn't respond, and I pull back to look at his face. He seems kind of distant. Probably concussed. I glance back to where Jeremy and Clint were and notice they're gone. No trace of them to be seen. I think for a moment that I see the familiar white fur of Micah's head and shoulders in the distance. But he's well out of sight by now. God damn. Micah saved you, you know that? You saved me? I blink, furrowing my brow some. No. That was Micah. The short bat guy. I hope he's gonna be okay. He's fast and wily. He should be fine, especially once Brian's adrenaline wears off. Thanks, Chula. I love you. I'm struck by the gentleness of his statement, his tone genuine, if dazed. The frayed mess of nerves that I am right now, hearing that soothes me just a little. Sure, Leo. Love you too. Let's get you back to the motel. I look down at the tattered remains of Leo's shirt as we stand up together. Christ, this wasn't productive at all, was it? We limp our way back to my sedan, and after helping Leo into the back seat, we make our way back to the motel.